Welcome to NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. Coming to you today from beautiful Seattle, Washington. The view from just over the outfield wall at Husky Softball Stadium. Washington, the number 16 seed, surviving in the elimination bracket to take on Michigan, who beat the Huskies yesterday. And Taylor Bump celebrating along with Sis Bates, who's been terrific for Washington, both at the plate and in the field. And this is where we stand. Washington with a no-hitter yesterday. It was Pat Moore who came in with the 5-inning no-hitter to eliminate Seattle. Michigan waiting for this game. Michigan just needs to win one to get to the Super Regional in Norman next week. And we welcome you to Seattle. Pam Ward, along with for National Player of the Year at Arizona, Jenny Dalton-Hill. And Jenny, it's been 1 week already since the selection show. Neither one of these teams that we're seeing tonight were happy at all with the draw, feeling that they were disrespected. Heather Tarr said, in fact, it was a punch in the gut to be the number 2 team in the Pac-12 and have to be number 16. And then Michigan comes out here, and now they're playing with a lot on the line.
You're right. Washington feeling very disrespected, seeing 2 other Pac-12 teams named seeds before their name came up, 60 other teams mentioned before they were even able to see themselves on the bracket. Michigan, on the other hand, won the Big Ten, led the Big Ten in ERA, fielding percentage, batting average, ran away with that Big Ten title and not even able to grab a seed in this tournament. So for both of these teams, both of them feeling very disrespected and a lot on the line here as they try to advance to Super Regionals.
Yeah, Michigan is disrespected, but boy, you have to respect their pitching staff. The best ERA in the nation. And boy, what a great choice. You could go with either Beaubien or Storako. Beaubien, who had a no-hitter earlier in this regional, starts tonight.
She will be the starter. Alex Storako on the left, complete game 3-hitter win over Washington. 5th lowest ERA in the country. Big Ten pitcher of the year, led the Big Ten in wins, ERA, and strikeouts. Beaubien, though, that's the starter here tonight. The complete game no-no in the opener, 16 wins on the season. The power lefty with 198 strikeouts, just 37 walks allowed. But across the diamond, they're going to have to face a pretty dominant pitcher of her own. Gabby Plain for Washington, a top 3 finalist for National Player of the Year, the Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year, and number 3 in the country in strikeouts with 314. She's got 30 wins on the season, but got her 3rd loss as she went against Michigan in the 2nd round of this regional. But when you talk defense, the only name that comes to mind in this regional is Sis Bates, the 3-time Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year. She's amazing. First pitch coming up next.
Welcome back to Seattle. About 57 degrees, overcast skies, but no rain in the forecast. We're getting ready for this regional matchup between Washington and Michigan. And for this Washington team, only UCLA was better in the Pac-12 during the regular season, ranked in the top 5 for the entire season, but still slipped all the way to 16. Heather Tarr, in her 17th year, won the Women's College World Series in 2009. And for Washington, Sis Bates leads off, but Morgan Flores actually is the only one who was able to do any damage when these 2 teams played yesterday.
Yeah, Flores sitting in that 3 slot, had a ton of power, the only run in the Michigan matchup. They're going to need to generate some more runs in this one to try to get themselves into Super Regionals.
Sis Bates leading things off against Megan Beaubien. Sis Bates, one of the Huskies who has exhausted her eligibility, hoping obviously that her career will continue. And she has been brilliant, 5 for 10 from the plate in this regional. And speaking of brilliance, Beaubien, all she did was throw a no-hitter the other day.
Yeah, and it was a back-to-back no-no. Her previous performance was one as well. At upper 60s, stays up in the zone with a curve, a screw, and a rise. But it's that nasty changeup that she trusts in any count that you've got to be aware of as a hitter.
That's right. She had a 5-inning perfect game against Rutgers to close out the regular season, and then followed that up with the no-hitter over Seattle University on Friday. 3-1 pitch on the way to Bates. Bates with 5 hits, just 3 hits behind Sarah Pickering now to tie for the most in the history of this program. Full count, very first batter Beaubien faced.
Yeah, sitting at the top of the lineup, Sis Bates may not be the leader in terms of batting average, but she has the most speed on the team. She's got 21 stolen bases, a very complete player, likes to use the short game, but now as she sits in a full count, expect to see her trying to just put a charge in one, get this to the grass, and get Washington a great start.
Pops it up, going back. Rodriguez to get the always dangerous Sis Bates. And Bates is retired. Bailey Klingler, who like Sis is also hitting .500 during this regional, and has the best overall batting average for the season at a very healthy .419.
Klingler, a great addition onto this Washington lineup. A transfer in from Texas A&M, leads the team, like you said, Pam, in average, but it's the power numbers that sit in the 2-hole that's so impressive for Washington. The rise ball has been very vulnerable for Klingler.
Welcome those of you who just watched UCLA advance on to the Super Regional by beating Minnesota. They will play and host Virginia Tech coming up next weekend. Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you from Seattle, where Michigan is in the driver's seat on the road at Husky Softball Complex. Michelle Beaubien in the circle. You've just missed one batter. Sis Bates leading off and popping out to shortstop. Klingler dribbles it down to Lou Allen, who picks it up for the second out of the inning. Earl Hutchins in her 37th year, 18-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. 8 more wins in second place Minnesota, who was just eliminated by UCLA. The team coming out west. And you see they've only given up 56 runs all season and beat Washington 2-1 yesterday to stay in the winner's bracket. So Michigan needs just 1 win. Seattle would have to beat them, or excuse me, Washington would have to beat them twice in order to get to the Super Regional. Michigan pitching staff, the lowest earned run average in the nation at 1.07. Flores puts a charge into that one, and it is gone. Morgan Flores with her second home run of the regional against Michigan.
So Washington with their backs up against the wall. This is a winner-go-home game for them in this situation. Flores had the home run yesterday in their game against Michigan. That one came off of Storako. This changeup sits high in the zone. Typically a changeup from Beaubien will sit a little bit lower, but this one sits belt high, and Flores does a really good job of just staying in her legs, keeping her weight back, and getting all the way through extension. A no-doubter over the center field wall and the lead for Washington. Some emotion coming out of Washington, making sure that they know. You know, the thing that's crazy about this one is they are not in their home dugout because of the seedings and how everything plays out. Washington is in the visitor dugout for this one. And Pam, I'll tell you, it kind of takes you out of your game because when you play at home, you expect to see things from a certain vantage point. Washington, though, the visitor in this game, will be in the visitor dugout, and it's a much different look.
So far, so good, as Beaubien has given up her first hit in over a week. Perfect game, then a no-hitter, and Jennifer Brundage in her 23rd year as the pitching coach comes out, and there you see fans. It's no general admission, friends and family inside. About 200 people are allowed to come into Husky Stadium, and finally something to cheer about. They struggled mightily against Storako, only getting that home run from Flores in the 6th inning in that 2-1 loss to Michigan yesterday evening. Now Beaubien with the strange feeling of having given up a hit. She hasn't done that for a while.
No doubt, but Beaubien is tested in the circles. She is definitely used to adversity, but here in the top of the 1st inning, Washington trying to make themselves known.
Always good to get off on the right foot, especially in a game you need to win. Now, a couple of games on Friday. It's Michigan and Portland State. You saw the just 9 hits, 4 runs, and then yesterday they really broke out against Seattle. It was a 5-run no-hitter. Pat Moore getting the start, sort of a surprise start. Did pretty well. She no-hit him.
Well, not only did she do well in the circle, oh, sorry, Pam, not only did she do well in the circle, but the bats came alive. Those 11 hits, finally finding the offense that they've been looking for all weekend.
Sammy Reynolds. Trying to keep things going for Washington. It was Sis Bates who came out with a big 2-out, 2-run double to complete the run rule win and end it early last night. Reynolds just 1 for 9. And this is the most blustery it has been in the 3 days of this regional. Heavy wind out to left field as you see it, and almost straight out over the third base bleachers. After the home run, a walk to Reynolds.
Well, and Beaubien, a very mature pitcher in the circle. She's a senior for this Michigan squad and was the ace in the circle her freshman season. Storako came on the scene the following year, and it was kind of an adjustment for them to be able to share the workload, but now a very good tandem in the circle for Michigan. But it looks as though Beaubien a little bit rattled after that home run.
After 2 quick outs, the homer and then the walk, here is Noelle He, who has been swapped in the lineup today with Kelly Lynch, moved up from 6th to 5th.
And I like this move in the lineup. He has a very powerful swing. She's shown that she can do some damage sitting a little bit higher in the lineup, and Lynch has not been very productive this weekend.
And that gets her. Well, he a little bit of a glance out towards Beaubien, who was allowed 3 straight base runners.
Well, and I'm going to say that was a little bit more than a glance, Pam. That was almost more of a glare. That was not a happy look towards the circle. But as she gets hit, she wears it in the back. And then the stare down.
How about a glance with a purpose?
I like it. I'll take that one. And remembering that as a batter in softball, you do not have to make a move to get out of the way of the ball. And Washington taking advantage of some miscues by Beaubien.
So 5 batters, only 1 first pitch strike from Beaubien. Make it 2 now as she faces the number 6 hitter, Kelly Lynch. Lynch still looking for her first hit of the weekend, 0 for 6. Popped up, and that's playable for Allen. Lynch strands a couple, but it's Morgan Flores again hurting the Wolverines with the long ball.
trying to show that she is dangerous, sitting in that 3 slot for Washington. Morgan Flores, her 12th home run of the year, and she gets Washington on the board first for the 1-0 lead.
Your destination for super regional ticket and broadcast information.
AA Softball Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Oh, another gorgeous shot of Seattle, Washington, looking in from Puget Sound to downtown. Morgan Flores, as we take a look at the Capital One starting lineups for the Michigan Wolverines, and Taylor Bump with a couple of home runs, including one against Washington yesterday.
Yeah, she was actually the second home run of the 2-run back-to-back jacks of Lou Allen and Bump. So Bump, those 2 home runs on this weekend, those are her only 2 hits in the series.
And Gabby Plain back in the circle. Gabby took the loss to Michigan yesterday.
Yeah, Plain seasoned in the circle, the ace of this staff, throws in the mid-60s, rise, drop, curve, change, throws everything through the zone to begin, and when ahead, she can absolutely play with hitters. A ton of movement and a trusted changeup that is just nasty. It will dip and dive out of the zone, and you've got to make sure you stay in your legs as a hitter so you don't get fooled and can still bear it up.
Her first test is a big one. It's Lexi Blair, the very talented leadoff hitter for the University of Michigan, and the Big Ten Player of the Year. Wastes no time going after the first pitch. Bobbled in center, but Blair is held to first base with the single.
Well, Pam, we've got ourselves a ball game. Both of these teams recognizing the opportunity ahead of them. Washington has to beat Michigan twice. Well, Michigan, with their backs up against the wall with a 1-0 lead by Washington, starts off really well with Lexi Blair and a ton of speed at the top of the lineup. She's got 21 stolen bases on the year.
And she's such a threat in all aspects for this Michigan team. Natalia Rodriguez, the shortstop, trying to move her along. You see Sis Bates, number 22, the shortstop, cheating towards second in case Blair decides to take off. Rodriguez 1 for 6 so far at the plate. Remember, Michigan has played 1 less game than Washington, just having to play 2. Washington had to play 3 after losing to Michigan yesterday.
Well, and Pam, they're a little bit offset right now as the ball went foul, but if you look at the shortstop, Sis Bates, she is playing way up the middle. It leaves a huge hole in that 5-6 hole area, and look at both of the middle infielders pulled towards second. So big holes in the defense. They're playing the averages, thinking she's coming up the middle with this one.
Rodriguez down 0-2. Blair holds it first. That punt is fouled off. Always risky with 2 strikes to try that.
Yeah, a trusted short gamer, but in that situation, foul ball as you square to bunt with 2 strikes. Out as it goes foul. So a great break for Washington.
That counts as a strikeout for Gabby Plain, and now here is Lou Allen, along with Taylor Bump, the home run power. Each one hit a solo shot off Gabby Plain yesterday. Lou and Taylor Bump with kind of a friendly rivalry. They keep track of each other in the dugout. They'll say, hey, you know, I have 1 more than you. And then they both went and hit one yesterday, and Bumps on deck trying to at least, you know, stay even or one-up each other. It's been a good 1-2 punch as they hit 3-4 in the order.
Well, Michigan's got 40 home runs as a team on the year, but these two hitters combined for 23 of those 40 home runs. So these two big home run hitters, a little friendly competition, Pam. Can you imagine if that was the conversation at Oklahoma, who leads the nation in home runs right now?
Yeah. Bump has 12, Allen has 11. Oklahoma hits 6 today alone in a 24-7 nail-biter against Wichita State. And Oklahoma is going to be the team that the winner from this regional plays next week.
Yeah, it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, so much run scoring potential in Norman, Oklahoma, which is where this regional will match up and travel to.
2-1 pitch, Blair over at first. Flores throws down, Bates is there, and they say she's safe. Sis Bates cannot believe it.
So while there was in-game video replay in 3 conferences in postseason play, there is not video replay once you get to the regionals. Sis Bates, I think she gets that tag down in time. She's excited about it and then recognizes that the call is... She turns around before the call is even made. That's why she's celebrating, and then realizes that the call was safe and is a little bit frustrated by that one. It's a great throw by Morgan Flores down to second base. But I think that's actually a pretty good call. As the tag comes across, she hits her in the elbow, but the hand had already gotten into the bag, but Sis Bates trying to sell it. Lots of good looks on this one. That one makes her look safe.
And Sis Bates is not one to hold back on her emotions.
No, one of the most fun players to watch. Tons of emotion at that shortstop slot and a lot of great defensive plays. She loves to fire up this team using her glove.
And you saw, boy, the arm of Morgan Flores. That's a weapon as well. 12th stolen base of the year for Blair. Popped up into short left. Sammy Reynolds out number 2. Now the other home run threat, Taylor Bump, comes up. Bump has been on somewhat of a home run tear. 3 in her last 5 games, including one off of Gabby Plain yesterday in the 2-1 win that kept Michigan in the winner's bracket.
Well, one thing about Gabby Plain in the circle is she never really leaves the ball very big in the zone. We saw her do that back-to-back batters against the 2 most dangerous hitters in the lineup, and that's what gave them the loss. But typically, Plain very good at just nipping at corners and dancing around the zone.
And Gabby Plain on the season has only given up 10 home runs in 213 innings, and she gave them, 20% of those home runs were back-to-backers hit by Allen and Bump yesterday. So yeah, not a lot of gopher balls from the Australian.
Well, and look at this one. This was off Carly Nance, the Seattle U pitcher. Bump took her oppo, but then off Plain, it was a pitch just left in her wheelhouse. She was able to just barrel that one up, and that's the slithering snake is what we've been told as they cross home plate. It's been something that they've added to the dugout celebration, so expect to see that snake come out when they're excited about a play.
She's out. Oh, Bates almost. I figured it was automatic, but Bates got saved by Kelly Lynch over there.
Yeah, don't talk too soon, Pam, when it comes to defense.
Not
While
even
she
with
is
Bates.
a typical defender that can come away with it. Lynch over there gets the out for her.
By saying that they're down early, but as you mentioned, Ole Miss is going to have to win twice here. Washington leading Michigan in a game they have to win to keep on going. Home run by Morgan Flores as you look at Sis Bates in the dugout. Three-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Pac-12, but boy, great pick over there by Kelly Lynch to get the final out of the inning. Keep it 1-0. Bottom of the lineup, 7-8-9, Taryn Atley, second baseman. Trying to get things started for the Washington Huskies. The bottom of the lineup has really struggled, especially against Michigan. All 3 hits that Washington got against Storako yesterday came from the top 3 hitters. And a different look with Beaubien. You hear got room being called out, and yes, in fact, Rodriguez did to retire Atley.
But Beaubien in the opener here against Seattle U, able to come away with a 2-0 win. She was able to just dissect the hitters for Seattle U. In the circle, coming away with 12 strikeouts in just 104 pitches. That complete game win really set the tone for Michigan as they stayed in the winner's bracket all the way through this one.
Here's Sarah Willis batting 8th and playing right field. That's been kind of a fluid position for this Seattle, or for this Washington team. And you saw that graphic with the no-hitters for Beaubien. Pretty nice company, right? Jenny Ritter, Betza, the other 2 with postseason no-hitters. Jenny Ritter, who is an analyst for us now, was the ace when they won it all in 2005. Willis punches it, and it's off the glove of Jimenez, the second baseman.
And that's like a wide receiver going out for a pass that's just kind of an over-the-shoulder grab. I don't know where she went wrong on that one, whether she was running on her heels to jiggle her eyes. When you go for that ball, you've got to make sure you stay on your toes, but that will be an error on the second baseman, Julia Jimenez.
Michigan, one of the best fielding teams going. Only 4 players had more than 1 error heading into this regional, so a rare error there on Jimenez puts Willis on. Jadlyn Alchin batting number 9. A couple of tweaks for Coach Heather Tarr to try to get the bottom of the lineup going. Heather Tarr, boy, she's all bundled up. Chilly, especially with the wind blowing in Seattle this evening. Alchin 0 for 2 so far in this regional.
We've seen a lot of different weather here in this regional. From day to day, it's been warm and sunny. We've seen a ton of cottonwood seeds flying all over the field. It looked like snow, but it's got to be cold if these Michigan fans are bundling up.
That is sent into the gap. Alchin delivering. Willis being sent home. And an obstruction signal from the home plate umpire.
And Pam, we've seen a ton of these obstruction calls in the postseason, and without video replay, as soon as that's called, the runner is protected. And so on this hit, Jadalyn Alchin does a really good job of hitting it to the outfield, but Carol Hutchins not happy about that call of obstruction as she comes out to discuss it with the umpiring crew.
The RBI double for Alchin. An unearned run after Willis was put on because of an error. Let's take a look.
So as the ball comes in, the home plate umpire puts his arm out. It's more of a delayed call, but you see that left arm coming out, calling obstruction. But what happens is the catcher, Hannah Carson, moves her body into the baseline, blocking the entire site of the plate. She does not have the ball yet, and that's why that call is made. If she had the ball, she would have the right of way, be able to be in that position, but because she puts herself in that slot before receiving the ball, that is why obstruction is called. So the runner is protected in that situation, and she is granted home plate and another run for Washington.
Pretty good collision too, and Carol Hutchins is continuing to protest and now goes out to have a chat with Beaubien.
You know, when you talk about Carol Hutchins, she is a coach that is intense. Right now, giving that conversation to Megan Beaubien, and that's actually the perfect way to speak to Megan Beaubien because she's very analytical. She wants the facts. She wants you to give it to her straight. And so Carol Hutchins, kind of the perfect coach for her. But there's the obstruction rule. Obstruction is called if the defensive player is blocking the entire base path, or in this case, plate, not base. And so because Carson did not have the ball and that's where she was set up, that is the obstruction call. Had she had the ball, that would not have been an obstruction call. But without the ball, that is the call.
Bates gets the bunt down. Great charge by Bump to throw her out. But Alchin does advance to third.
And when it comes to Sis Bates, the bunt is never off the table with her. She reads the defenses, and especially sitting in a count in her favor, she will always play with the defense. Not only will she move runners, but she uses her speed down the line and now sets them up for a great opportunity with 2 outs with just a runner on third base and 60 feet away from another run.
And it's Bailey Klingler who is, statistically speaking, the most dangerous hitter. You see 4 for 9 so far. Klingler, the Texas A&M transfer, played 1 year there, made the SEC all-freshman team, and then came to play at Washington. She and Sis Bates had been on a U.S. junior national team together, and now they hit 1-2 in the Washington order.
Well, and we have seen Bailey Klingler be very vulnerable to that pitch up in the zone. She's had a couple of strikeouts on the swing and miss of balls up in her eyes. It seems to be a pitch that she just has a really hard time laying off of.
Klingler did have a couple of hits rather yesterday against Seattle and the no-hitter by Pat Moore. But now she's facing Megan Beaubien. Missed that one. Bump bobbled, recovered and threw her out. Nice job by Bump. Back-to-back plays, jumped on the bunt by Bates and then got Klingler to end the inning.
Well, this collision at the plate is able to give another run to Washington.
She's already getting a little cranky, but it's 4-0. It's early, and remember,
come on, Matt.
I think Ole Miss would have to beat them twice. That's the same boat that Washington is in, but they are out to a 2-0 lead over Michigan. Some hefty wins coming in near Lake Washington, this campus, university. right in Seattle, actually just north of downtown. Hannah Parson, the catcher, leading things off against Gabby Plain. First pitch swinging. Sis Bates. There you go. That's more like it. No adventure in that throw. The Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City. Action begins Thursday, June 3rd at noon Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information on the Women's College World Series, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. There you go, just over the left field wall. That's not bad. Can you think of a more picturesque softball stadium in the U.S. than this one? You don't have to answer now. You can ponder and talk among your friends, come up with an answer. But it's gorgeous. Football stadium, everything is kind of crammed together. It's urban campus, but just beautiful, beautiful part of North America. Here's Julia Jimenez, the second baseman, up for the first time. It was her error that put Willis on base and led to the unearned run in the top of this inning.
Ron Burkhart down there at first base, getting a lot of action, not only on the check swing calls, but he was actually the umpire that moved down into that home slot to call that obstruction call in the last half inning. So they're testing him today.
Jimenez 1 for 6 so far in this regional. Second team all Big Ten performer this year. Michigan, the runaway winner in the Big Ten, did not have a postseason tournament. Lane got her. Second strikeout for Gabby.
Yeah, the way that her pitches move is just nasty. And we saw some hiccups in her movement yesterday. She was pulled after the 6th inning in that game. But that drop ball just falls off the table. But I like the adjustment that Jimenez made to move up in the box to try to attack it before that break of Gabby Plain's pitches. But Plain able to adjust her movement and get another strikeout.
Starts Voss off with a strike. Gabby, 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. The solo home runs by Allen and Bump in yesterday's game. Gabby Plain, one of 3 National Player of the Year finalists.
You bring up those National Player of the Year finalists. There's 3 of them. And Pam, this year, it's kind of like comparing apples to oranges to bananas. They're 3 different looks when it comes to those different players. Gabby Plain, a pitcher only. You've got Jocelyn Alo at Oklahoma, who's more of a utility and a huge home run hitter. And then Rachel Garcia, the defending National Player of the Year, that pitches and hits.
Apples to oranges to bananas. Where would Gabby be in that fruit analogy?
Come on, she's a Washington apple. Let's be real.
There you go. Via Harrington Park, Australia. Heck of a detour. 1-2. She's ahead of Voss. And definitely looking sharper than yesterday. Back-to-back strikeouts. She's retired 6 in a row.
Great strikeout for Gabby Plain using that drop ball, bottom of the zone, the swing and miss. Flores holds on for the out.
The NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. We are in Seattle, taking you across Puget Sound towards downtown Seattle. The University of Washington leading Michigan now 2-0. And we remind you, that you should not miss a minute of the action from these regionals. 7 innings live on the ESPN app. See every game, every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series, only on the ESPN networks, and it has been an invaluable resource for fans, for broadcasters. People want to know what's going on. It's just been terrific.
Well, with the potential of 47 games yesterday, it was just crazy to try to keep up with everything. You saw big wins, comeback wins, walk-off wins, and then a lot of hearts broken as seasons came to an end.
Seasons and careers. Morgan Flores did this her first time up.
Yeah, changeup out of the hand of Megan Beaubien, sat big in the zone. Megan Flores capitalized, and that got the scoring going for Washington. She had a home run against them as well yesterday. That one coming, though, off of Storako.
This is Beaubien in the circle. Storako was in the bullpen warming up for the Michigan Wolverines. And they lead the entire country with a 1.07 earned run average. And there is Storako. Boy, what a 1-2 punch that University of Michigan has.
Yeah, she's the 5th lowest ERA in the country. It's just herself, a .88 ERA.
So you have option A and option B if you're Carol Hutchins, and they're both excellent. 1-2 pitch now. Flores protects.
Well, and when you talk to Coach Hutchins about her pitching staff, she says, you know, we don't have an ace, we've got a deuce. The two of them put together, they don't have it's like a 1A and a 1B. I mean, just pick your poison. One from the right side, one from the left side, one a little bit of a mix up. Storako developing a drop ball this year.
That was up in the eyes for Flores, and she sends it to the warning track. A little nervy right there before Voss gathered it in. The winner of this regional gets Oklahoma, who added a late field goal to beat Wichita State today, 24-7. Jen, 24 runs, that's a new regional record. 50 runs for the regional, that's a record. They had 6 home runs today. But can I just say that I'm not sold on their pitching staff.
Well, we saw
They're gonna have to
5 different
some
pitchers.
Folks.
You're right.
Yeah.
Well, and they've shown that they can, right? They may be vulnerable.
Apparently not a problem when you can put 24 up, but as you go deeper into the tournament and you're going to be facing, you know, in theory, better pitchers, more seasoned pitchers, that could become an issue.
You're right. Oklahoma faced Morgan State, put 18 hits up on the board for them, 4 home runs, 8 doubles. Crazy weekend for Tiare Jennings, a freshman for Oklahoma. She's got 5 doubles of her own on the weekend.
Sammy Reynolds walked and was stranded back in the first inning. Jen Brundage on screen left. Played at UCLA and has been just such a valuable part of this staff that has been together for, I mean, they're literally in their 3rd decade together.
Well, and Jen Brundage was National Player of the Year back in 1995 at UCLA. A couple national championships under her belt.
Beaubien wanted that one. That was a close one. So when you played at Arizona, you would have had some matchups with Brundage.
Jen and I actually played 18 and under travel ball together before we went to college, so I've known Jen for quite some time.
I bet your team was pretty good. Beaubien with the comebacker to retire Reynolds.
Yeah, we could swing it. We'll put it that way.
A little bit. Yeah, I was watching the Oklahoma game earlier, and Patty Gasso started Olivia Raines, sophomore, her first start of her career. Interesting time to do it, and gave up 4 runs. And during the interview in game, coach was like, well, we were down 4, you know, and she figured they were okay. We only gave up 4 runs. And any other time you'd be nervous giving up 4 runs, but with that offense, you kind of, can go out on a limb, you can try different pitchers, and to do it in a regional, very interesting strategy. But again, when you know you have that offense, you can gamble a little bit.
Well, but also realize, Pam, she did it on the day where they were facing a team that they were in the winner's bracket. There was no threat. They would be able to throw their ace to come back in game 2 if they needed to. But in that regional, Pam, they have home runs by 8 different players in their lineup. Just so much power top to bottom. Crazy amounts of offense. It's going to be a fun regional no matter who, or super regional, no matter who comes out of this one and goes down to Norman.
He pops it up, retreating nicely into short left. Rodriguez, that's the first 1-2-3 inning for Beaubien.
2005 National Championship. Carol Hutchins at the helm of that one as well. Score was tied 1-1 going into the 10th inning. A 3-run shot by Samantha Findley gave them the 4-1 lead. Jenny Ritter pitched a complete game, 119 pitches, 5-hitter for Michigan. Final score, 4-1. Michigan became the first school east of the Mississippi to claim the NCAA Division Softball Championship. Michigan lost the first game and went on to win the next 2 to win the championship.
And there's the season recap back in 2005. Most wins in school history with 65. And that was the first year that they went to the best of 3 series. So had it been a year earlier, UCLA would have won the championship. Because as you mentioned, UCLA won game 1, but then Coach Hutch demonstrating how to swing. Her team won the last 2. Jenny Ritter was just out in Tempe doing analysis for us for the NCAA regionals, but that was quite a season for Michigan. Pac-12 had a stranglehold on championships back then.
Michigan's last Women's College World Series appearance was back in 2016, trying to gain some ground and get themselves back into that slot in Oklahoma City.
Trying to get to their 12th Super Regional. Just won their 22nd Big Ten title. Lauren Essman, number 8 hitter, the DP, facing Gabby Plain. Gave up a leadoff single to Lexi Blair, and that's been it. Gabby Plain is a pitcher who kind of makes some interesting, she'll smile a bit, sometimes segueing into a bit of a smirk. She's fun to watch in the circle.
We got to interview her after their first game win, and we asked her if there was anybody back home that she wanted to say hello to, and she said, well, I guess I could say hi to my mom and dad. So it's kind of neat that at this time of year, able to get the national exposure, to be able to have everybody back home be able to cheer her on through the postseason.
Yeah, through many, many time zones. 3-1 pitch, and she lost her. So the first base runner since Lexi Blair led off the first inning with a single.
So Gabby, a member of Team Australia that will compete this summer in Tokyo. And one of the things that was really a blessing that came out of COVID was her ability to go home to Australia and train with that national team. When we talked with Coach Heather Tarr about that, she said, Gabby was really having a hard time establishing herself within that squad, but by being able to go home and practice with them so much, not only did she come back to us a more mature hitter, but she's just more calm and cool and collected, knowing her place on that team and also on ours as well.
Hoganrod trying to get the bunt down to advance Essman. Gabby Plain is a senior, but intends to come back and pitch next year at the University of Washington after the Olympics. And use her final year of eligibility. And she has been the unquestioned ace on this staff.
That's a really good pullback. When you're in a sacrifice bunt situation, you should only be sacrificing strikes. So as that drop ball came out of the zone, a really good pullback by Hoganrod evens the count.
Certainly Plain and everybody in purple know that that's what Hoganrod is trying to do. Washington playing in at the corners, and you see Bates drifting over towards second as the pitch comes.
Yes, so we talked about the great composure she showed in the pitch before, but this one falls off the table as well. So typically when you want to bunt, you should drop with the knees or the legs down to that pitch, not drop with the barrel. Goes for that one and now falls behind.
With 2 strikes, let's see if the bunt is off. Yep, swings away. Gabby Plain's 4th strikeout.
Well, and all of these strikeouts are coming on the drop ball. Down in the zone, they start knee high and then just fall off the table. So much spin. And these Michigan hitters are in the front of the box trying to attack her spin before the break, but Gabby Plain has been able to manipulate that spin to get it breaking before these hitters and taking advantage for her 4th strikeout.
One away, top of the order to Lexi Blair, who started things off with a single, then stole a base and was stranded. Only Keely Rochard at Virginia Tech has more strikeouts in the country this season than Gabby Plain. Rochard right now is 9 strikeouts ahead of Plain. Virginia Tech gonna go out to Westwood to play UCLA in the Super Regionals next weekend.
Well, and Pam the smirk's back. That was something that we didn't see as much in the Michigan game yesterday as they faced a little adversity. But how do you know Gabby Plain's feeling well? In the circle, that little smirk emerges.
Certainly wears her emotions on her face. Blair goes with the pitch, sends it to left field. Sammy Reynolds, route number 2. So Super Regional field is filling up. These are the teams that are through: Virginia Tech and Georgia. James Madison, the unseeded teams. Georgia taking care of Duke. And JMU, that's a team that you've had your eye on. JMU coming out of the Knoxville Regional.
Yeah, coming into the postseason with just 1 loss on the year. And Odyssey Alexander, Pam, she has been masterful in the circle, coming away with a ton of strikeouts in their regional matchups and taking out the seed Tennessee to advance, and they'll face Missouri.
All that coming up, and yes, we have it all covered for you with the ESPN networks.
So in that break, we had a trip to the circle. And sometimes a trip to the circle is not meant to give information. Sometimes a trip to the circle is just trying to loosen everybody up. Remember, Pam, this is an elimination game for Washington. If they don't win this one, their season's over. So this is a must-win game for the Huskies.
And that's one advantage of wearing a mask. You can go out and the coach can, crack a joke. Nobody can read his lips, and the players all have a good laugh and get right back at it.
Well, and I think that was a really nice strike for Gabby Plain, but as a hitter, I'm not swinging at that one. That one was low. But a really good call for Gabby. But when it comes to the football season back in the fall, you saw a lot of college football coaches still covering their mouths as they were saying things, even though they had their masks on.
Yeah.
Now everybody just can talk and nobody knows what you're
Yeah.
saying because of the masks.
Yeah, force a habit to cover their mouths even with the mask. Abby tries to get her to bite at 0-2, or Gabby Plain does. And there's the Gabby we know. And yeah, we talked to her, as you mentioned, after their win on Friday, and very loose, sort of like I think the typical Australian, just a little bit more chill, I think, than typically Americans are. And she's just basically said that she's not worried about anything. Just goes out and pitches. There's another one. Nasty stuff. Five strikeouts for Gabby Plain. Carol Hutchins, the boss at Michigan. We're going to talk to her when we come back. And 2-0 in a game Washington needs to win to force a decisive game here in the regional. We are joined now by Michigan head coach Carol Hutchins. And earlier in the game, an obstruction call at the plate. You seemed a little bit animated, I would say. And just tell us your thoughts on what happened.
On behalf of all NCAA coaches, get rid of that stupid rule. All of us want it gone. Let us play ball. It's ridiculous. It should look the same as baseball. They would never call that in baseball. Let's go.
Well, and you also had a really interesting conversation with Beaubien in the circle. She was kind of missing her spots. What was that conversation about?
She just needs to throw and spin the ball, and she's throwing a little tight, and that doesn't work. It's not working. We need better pitches from her, and she's much capable. But right now she's pitching to Washington, and she just needs to play softball.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. We appreciate your time and your candor, as usual.
Always go blue.
Always. Stay real, Coach Hutchins.
Well, and that's the thing I love about Coach Hutchins is she is point blank, honest, and will give it to you straight. And this call is a difficult one for a catcher because she's got to go get the ball. And she wants to make sure that she maintains that line to tag out a runner. But she's right. That's a tough call, not only by an umpire to make it, but as a catcher to have to go get that ball and continue to try to make a play as the ball takes her up the line. This is a rule change year, so expect for that to perhaps be back on the discussion list to see what kind of changes they can make to the wording to make it more clear and a little bit more equal to both sides.
I think if Coach Hutchins has anything to do with it, that will definitely be something that will be revisited. That was the second run scored for Washington coming in the second inning. A solo home run by Morgan Flores. Her second against Michigan this weekend. Gave them a 1-0 lead. Megan Beaubien in the circle. Kelly Lynch plunks one into center to lead off the fourth.
Well, that's Lynch's first hit on the weekend. Has really struggled at the plate. Has had 6 at-bats, 4 of them strikeouts. She was able to get on with 2 walks on the weekend, but that one finally able to find its way to the grass and get herself on as the leadoff hitter here in the fourth.
With the runner on, Taryn Atley, who popped out her first time up, comes up for the Huskies. Atley, one of the group of the great senior class for Washington, trying to lay down the bunt.
So that drag bunt, as a slapper coming out of the box, it's that outside pitch that makes them really vulnerable because they can't step over the line and make contact with the ball. So as a ball tails away, especially from a lefty, it makes it really hard to reach as a slapper.
Atley played her freshman year at Rutgers and came back west. The Sacramento native has had some experience with the Philippine national team.
And Atlee did not have a hit until going into that last game last night against Seattle U. Was a perfect 3 for 3. Finds herself here in the bottom of the lineup. And it's been the bottom of the lineup that has not been very productive, Pam, for Washington. But here, these 6 through 9 hitters coming away with 2 pretty good hits. The second being that Kelly Lynch single to start off this inning.
Heather Tarr, we'll speak to her after this half inning is over, and she fiddling with the bottom of her lineup a little bit today. Atlee lifts it into right field. You see Ross already playing shallow, makes the catch out, number 1. Now Sarah Willis comes up, reached on an error in the second inning, and it was her play at the plate where the obstruction was called that got the Michigan folks all fired up. Coach Hutchins wanting Beaubien to go and I guess be more like Beaubien. Wanted to spin the ball a little bit more. She has been terrific. Again, you're looking at a pitcher who had a perfect game against Rutgers the final weekend of the regular season, and then promptly went out at her next start and no-hit Seattle with a 12 strikeout effort. And Beaubien is not the strikeout pitcher on the staff. It's Storako who usually mows him down that way.
Well, and the difference between Beaubien and Storako is Beaubien really is the better spinner of the two. She comes in throwing a little bit harder, but what sometimes can happen to a pitcher is when their emotions are elevated, they don't spin the ball as hard, and what happens then is the ball sits flat. So you do get a little bit velocity elevated, but your spin falls away. That's a great changeup. Coming in at 49 miles an hour. Just great disparity between her fast pitches and a really nice changeup. As a hitter, that's the right answer to keep that bat on your shoulder until you've got 2 strikes. But now she's going to have to get that one off her shoulder if that one comes in again. Beautiful
nice
changeup.
Yeah, it certainly was a nice frame by Carson behind the plate. Sarah Willis at the plate is a true freshman from Ontario, California. Getting some good playing time here in the regional. Is on the all-freshman team for the Pac-12 this year. Stayed with it. Beaubien went down to one knee. And they just missed turning the double play, but a good job by Beaubien to flick it over to get the lead runner, Lynch.
Again, a heads-up play by Beaubien in the circle, a good defensive pitcher to be able to come away with that grab at second base. Just dishes it off to Rodriguez as she comes across second base. It's another nice changeup, out ahead of it a little bit, able to get enough of it to get it on the ground. So she's on, but the lead runner is out for the second out.
Willis replaces Lynch over at first. Here's Alchin, who had an RBI double that scored Willis. An obstruction play. Washington softball team coming in 13th in the nation in batting average. Breaking out against Seattle last night. Off to a pretty good start here against a very good pitcher.
And if you watch the velocities with Megan Beaubien, she comes in at 67, 68, then brings some other pitches down in the 63-mile-an-hour range, and then that changeup in at 49. So you're seeing a great disparity between everything fast, that changeup, and then a little bit of an off speed to really disrupt the timing of these hitters.
Lifted into the air towards Hoganrod. Couple of steps from the field, or from the fence rather, to end the inning. You are watching the NCAA Softball Regionals presented by Capital One. Back on a softball Sunday. Nothing better. Washington leading Michigan 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Joined now by Husky head coach Heather Tarr. A couple of early runs for you, and Gabby playing back in the circle. Struggled a little bit. I know it's not a bad struggle when you only give up 2 runs to Michigan, but what are you seeing from her so far today in the shutout?
Yeah, I mean, she's doing a good job right now, keeping the ball down and doing what Gabby Plain does best. Feed Sis Bates with some ground balls and we'll be okay.
No doubt. When it comes to the message to the team, though, knowing that this was a win-or-go-home situation, what was that message that you gave to them?
I mean, we've got so many seniors on this team that I don't really need to message much more than just let's get better, let's improve on yesterday, and let's get after it today and try to get to a second game.
Yep, so far so good. Anything else you want to say?
I always want to say hi to my mom. Go Dogs.
All right. Hello, Artie and Brother Josh. Thank you so much.
For the Wolverines, the first baseman, number 14, Lou Allen.
And there is Artie. And that's Huckle the Cat to the left. I'm watching on TV. Back with her brother Josh. Heather Tarr is Sammamish, Washington native.
And Dad Vic, who passed away this past year. Definitely our hearts go out to their family as they deal with that difficult loss. And he was a great Husky fan, leading the Husky cheer. Fans definitely missed that. And we're thinking of their family. So Artie, keep cheering on your sweet daughter.
Gabby Plain leading Michigan in the circle, beating Michigan in the circle 2-0. Something like that. Heather Tarr graduated from Washington in '98. Played on a couple of World Series teams herself. Was a 3-time All-Pac-10 performer. It was the Pac-10 when you played as well. It wasn't the Pac-8, right? It wasn't that long ago.
No. Well, there were only 8 teams in the Pac-10, but Heather Tarr and I actually squared off in the national championship game back in 1996. And Pam, that was a really unique year because the championship was not held in Oklahoma City. It was held in Athens, Georgia, as the precursor to the Olympic event for softball, being in the Olympics for the very first time there in Atlanta.
In '96. Lou Allen flew out to left field, and Allen hit a solo shot off Gabby Plain when these two teams met yesterday. And I believe the meeting in the World Series went Arizona's way, I believe, right?
It did, but that precursor to the Olympics actually gave the nod to somebody that's kind of important to Lou Allen. It was her grandmother, Sheila Cornell Dowdy, who was able to play in that '96 Olympics and come away with a gold medal.
Her grandmother played on a couple of teams, also 2000. Sydney, right? 2000 Olympics were in Sydney.
Sure was. And there's a good look at the two of them, Sheila and Lou. What a great mentor for Lou to be able to gain wisdom, gain knowledge, and also just learn how to be a strong, confident woman in playing the same exact sport.
Full count for Sheila's granddaughter, and she walks to start off the 4th inning. Matt Schick, what do you have?
Your attention, please. Pitch running at first base. For Lou Allen, number 25, Audrey Leclerc.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I'm done with cut-ins, Matt. We're not coming back to you anymore.
Only good news. Third
That's
time
right.
the leadoff is on for Michigan as Audrey LeClaire comes in to run for Allen.
Baseman number 15, Taylor Bump.
Had some upsets in this regional weekend. Michigan trying to pull one off here as the unseeded team against 16 seed Washington. Sis Bates down on her knees. Can't turn the double play. A little bit of a floater on the throw to first.
Oh no, it's a double play, Pam. It's Bates.
Oh,
Come
you
on,
got
let's
her?
be real. You
I
definitely rung her
apologize.
up. Yeah.
How could I doubt that?
I know. She's your favorite player out here, Pam. Come on, you're wanting to give her the Defensive Player of the Year award. Granted, there is no such thing at the time, but when it comes
There
down
will
to
be.
it, if you have anything to do with it, I have no doubt. But Sis Bates, the reason this double play gets the turn is because she takes it herself. There's no need for a transfer over there. She's close enough. And now 2 outs on the board.
Yeah, I apologize. I saw the umpire over there, and I thought the signal, because we're not there, we're not in Seattle, darn it. But I thought he was saying that the first baseman Lynch was off the bag. But Sis turns the double play, 3-time Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year, and should be the National Defensive Player of the Year. The problem is there's not an award for that. And we need to get that changed. Is there time? We still have a couple weeks left in the season. Atlee ends the inning. 9-pitch inning. Gabby playing. Sis Bates is good. Should be the National Defensive Player of the Year. Sis Bates, this is all in one game. Yesterday against Seattle with the gun, the hops. I mean, wake up your children. Tell them to watch Sis Bates play shortstop, and then this. Jan, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, the fadeaway jumper over there to first base is just nuts. And then the routine play, you know, just making everything right back at her. I mean, Sis Bates, so much fun to watch. Sits at the top of the lineup for Washington. Leads off this inning.
And she is fixing to be the most prolific hitter in the history of Washington softball. Just needs what did I say, 3 more to get Sarah Pickering? I've lost track.
Yep.
She's just, look at this career. In all seriousness, I think there should be a Defensive Player of the Year award. We have it in college basketball. You know, people like this should be immortalized with something like that.
Well, and it's an understatement to say you're a fan, Pam, because you just absolutely love to watch Sis Bates. But more than that, it should be rewarded. It's a piece of the game that needs to be recognized. And the problem is, right now with our Player of the Year top 3 that we've picked, none of them really a defensive specialist. Jocelyn Alo is a utility player. Gabby Plain for Washington, a pitcher only, and then Rachel Garcia is in that mix because she hits and pitches for UCLA. So none of them really are able to flash the leather like Sis Bates.
None of them. But look what Beaubien did, just went upstairs to strike out Sis Bates. Do you love Major League Baseball? How about this matchup? The Cardinals taking on the Chicago White Sox. Monday Night Baseball game, first of a 3-game set. Cards leading the National League Central. The White Sox leading the AL Central. Check it out, 8 Eastern, 7 Central tomorrow on ESPN and the app. Good thing to do because there's no softball tomorrow. Everything going to be done as we get ready for the Super Regionals, which will start on Thursday. Wingler 0 for 2 in this game. Beaubien seems to be settling down. I think Coach Hutchins would agree with that.
One of the things about Coach Hutchins is she recognizes your successes, but always wants to hold you accountable to the next step. And so while she would be okay with where Beaubien is at right now, she's going to want her to spin better, nip better corners, not leave any of her pitches big, because it's those mistakes that really make a ball game become unreachable. So if she throws a pitch over the heart of the plate, Washington's going to capitalize. It has to be constant effort to stay sharp in the circle.
Gabby Plain pitching the shutout so far for Washington, a game they need to win, and Klingler sends it to the base of the wall. Lexi Blair, really good outfielder, boy. Good job to chase that down quickly and hold Klingler to a long single. We have another update coming our way from Matt Schick.
The catcher, number 47, Morgan Flores.
That's what it's all about, Matt. We just got to keep chipping away until we get our regular Sunny Jenny back.
That's right. I'm all sunshine and rainbows when everything's going my way. No, but Ole Miss is a really good team. They're showing with their backs against the wall that they can fight in Tucson, and for the first time, Tucson's been able to have a full stadium.
And Flores, who had the home run back in the first inning, gets one to hit the grass in left field. Back-to-back singles now after the strikeout of Bates to start the 5th inning.
And while you don't like to give up hits, that's actually a really good at-bat coming to Flores. She had the home run in the first inning. She's been barreling up these Michigan pitchers, and so a really good approach. Gets her jammed up. It does come in as a base hit, but the ball didn't leave the yard, so that's a win.
Now Jennifer Brundage in her 23rd year as the pitching coach comes out to have a conversation with Beaubien and Carson. There's the slippery snake.
Well, and in the back of your shot, see Storako, and she was having a conversation with Carol Hutchins right when we came to this shot, but there's no action in the bullpen, and because of that, Storako looking to see if Michigan going to be able to respond in this one in advance, or if she's going to have to take up the action in game 2 if Washington's able to win.
Yeah, it was Storako who beat Washington yesterday to keep them in the winner's side of the bracket. Complete game 3 hitter. One of those hits, a Flores home run.
Well, and that's the slippery snake there in the front of your shot. That's the thing that has not seen much action here, and that's definitely a piece of Michigan's game that they need to get going. But what's the story behind that one, Pam?
Yeah, not a lot to celebrate about it. A team manager bought it late in the late in the season, and they used it initially as a celebration for doubles or home runs. But now if a pitcher, for instance, retires a team in order, they get a snake. Big hit, you get a snake. Made its debut last Saturday night. And it gets wrapped around the player that does something really, really good. And as you mentioned, down 2-0, not a lot of snake action so far. The slippery snake not sitting on a neck right now, which is not a good sign for Michigan. 2 on as Megan Vandegrift comes in to run for Flores over at first. Sammy Reynolds. Cleanup hitter for Washington, and in a nice RBI situation. He's from Snohomish, Washington, not to be confused with Sammamish, where Heather Tarr is from. She's down 1-2 to Beaubien.
Good mobility back there behind the plate by Hannah Carson, coming away with that one. And a lefty curveball that she has to be ready for that one, especially with a runner over there at second base. Good lateral movement coming away with that curveball out of the hand of Beaubien that just got away from her.
2-2 with 2 on. Got down on her knees to fight it off and stay alive.
It's that nasty changeup coming in right above 50 miles an hour. Just great speed change. So hard to stay in your legs. Sometimes one of the ways you can do it is to go down to that knee.
Yep.
It's a scary way to stay alive, though.
Another 2-2. Fights off another one. Of Heather Tarr's description of Sammy Reynolds, she's a sniper with power. She's not really the prototypical cleanup hitter, right? You'll see her go out, try to slap the ball at times, but still has that power, does have 11 home runs. Here's the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Pops it up. Heard the infield fly rule called. Jimenez makes it official, 2 away. Big spot now for Noelle He.
Designated player number 31, Noelle He.
He broke through in a big way against Seattle last night. A couple of hits, 4 runs driven in. Hitting a double and a home run. Washington beating Seattle U to stay alive and get to this game, winning 8-0 on Pat Moore's first career no-hitter. Washington trying to cash in. They have left 4 runners on base. Out hitting Michigan 5-1. The big hit's the first inning home run by Flores, who just singled and has been pinch run 4. Big cut.
I love the balance in He's swing. She stays in her legs really well. Now that's a pitch she should not be chasing. But I've just been really impressed with the raw power that she's been able to show in her swings this weekend.
Not a bad debut Friday against Seattle for Beaubien. 12th strikeout, no-hitter. Another good job in the dirt by Carson. Sis Bates struck out to lead off the inning. Klingler singled now at second, followed by Flores' single. Vandegrift, the pinch runner, now over at first. He trying to come up with a big 2-out base hit. Another ball popped up. Rodriguez squeezes it. Washington has now left 6 on base. Still up though, 2-0.
Yet it's going to be passionate softball for sure.
Back to crown a national champion for the first time since 2019.
They get to chase history here.
Oh boy, it's coming. June the 3rd, it's a Thursday, noon Eastern time. The Women's College World Series presented by Capital One on ESPN. Go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships, to check out more information. Another gorgeous shot of Seattle, Washington. Gabby playing right now, shutting out Michigan in a must-win for the Huskies. They win this game, then we'll have another game coming your way later tonight from Seattle. Washington 2 runs on 5 hits, but they've left 6. Michigan just 1 hit so far against Gabby Plain. Jimenez, the second baseman, leading things off, was a strikeout victim back in the 2nd inning. And this regional starting off, there was controversy or controversy, as Gabby Plain would probably say, right from before they even threw the first pitch, right? Because Michigan won the Big Ten championship. They thought they were disrespected, and Coach Hutchins said not just them, but the entire league disrespected by sending the Big Ten champion all the way out to Washington. Washington, as you called it, criminally underseeded at 16 after coming in second in the Pac-12. And here they are playing for a spot in the Super Regionals. That's handled by Atlee to get the first out of the inning.
Well, and Pam, when we talked to Coach Hutchins about that, or in articles that were written about that, she said the committee disrespected our entire conference. We aren't going to dwell on something, though, that we don't control. But she said, I certainly feel the Big Ten didn't get much respect.
Heather Tarr with similar sentiments, but they both said that once the ball's in the air, it's all about proving yourself on the field. But it was certainly, and Coach Tarr referenced this when we talked to her earlier in the week. You harken back to 4 years ago when Minnesota was unseeded as the Big Ten champions. They got as high as #1 in the country. Here's Lexi Voss, and were unseeded and sent to Alabama. And it's like a double whammy. Like Alabama's playing a better opponent than they should. And certainly Minnesota in that case, and both Michigan and Washington in these cases. The Big Ten hamstrung this year because they did not play any out-of-conference games to get their RPIs up. Sis Bates, automatic.
You're going to have to be careful, Pam. If she throws one away, you're going to call it an out, and everybody's going to have to go backtracking. But you're right. Those ground balls to shortstop, and do seem pretty automatic. And that's one of the things that Gabby Plain talked about when it comes to her defense. When she sees that ground ball rolling to her right side, she says, I feel great confidence that the out's going to be made. I don't have to worry about it.
Washington coming into this regional with a .983 fielding percentage, which is really good. Esmond walked in her first at bat. Heather Tarr first saw Sis Bates. Said she was looking at some players and looked over and she saw a little tiny shortstop wearing number 22, and Heather wore number 22, so she said right away the 22 caught my eye, and she heard that Sis, who is from California, Central California, was interested in Washington. The first World Series that Sis Bates watched was '09, and that is when Heather Tarr and Danielle Laurie and company won the World Series. So I think it's worked out from one 22 to another.
Yeah, beat Florida in that 2009 national championship game and had been sent to Massachusetts for their regional that year.
Playing with a little kick of the leg after the strike. Sis Bates coming back, was so excited when she got the word that from Heather Tarr, who texted her and said that after the COVID year she could indeed get another year of eligibility back, and Sis didn't even think, I think, for a millisecond she was coming back. 1-2 now. Gabby Plain in the circle has another year of eligibility, and she has said that she plans on coming back. That's scary for the rest of the country, and the Pac-12 in particular.
Well, and how grateful is Washington knowing that they just have not got a lot of developed pitchers coming in behind Gabby Plain. So now another opportunity, another fall to give them some more experience and hopefully find another ace that can take over when Plain is done.
Klingler. 1-2-3 inning, all ground ball outs. After 5, it's 2-0 Washington. You are watching the NCAA Softball Championship presented by Capital One. We are in Seattle. Just gorgeous. And Seattle, the place where the University of Washington is leading Michigan 2-0 in a must-win game. Here's our game recap. Morgan Flores doing it again off Beaubien.
Big, huge home run. That was the first run of the game. And then the Alchin double out there to right center. Willis scored. It was a controversial obstruction play, but that was the second run of the game, and that's where we sit, 2-0.
Pam Ward and Jenny Dalton-Hill joining you. Megan Beaubien in the circle, who pitched a no-hitter to start things off for Michigan in this regional, giving up 5 hits. One of them, that Flores home run, who hit a home run off of Alex Storako. And Michigan beat Washington yesterday. Washington has to win twice to get to the Super Regional. And Gabby Plain giving up just 1 hit. That was on the very first pitch she threw to Lexi Blair in the first inning. Look at Beaubien's line. Michigan 0 for 7 with runners on base. And they are being shut out. Kelly Lynch with a single her last time up, her first hit of the weekend. But this is not unexpected with Gabby Plain, again, National Player of the Year finalist. Taking, facing off, there's Gabby, smiling and talking as usual. And then the team Michigan, especially between Storako and Beaubien, had the best team ERA in the entire nation. So low scoring game, absolutely what we expected coming in.
When Gabby Plain faced Michigan yesterday, she threw 6 innings, gave up those 2 earned runs in back-to-back home runs. That was the only runs in the game for Michigan, but Washington unable to respond with a Flores home run of their own in response to it in the bottom of the 6th inning. Just couldn't overcome those back-to-back jacks.
Lynch pops it up. Jimenez out number 1. Let's get another update from the hard-working Matt Schick.
The second baseman, number 7, Taryn Hatley.
Thank you, Matt. Interesting matchup by the committee to send Oregon down to Austin. Boy, they really, you're right, Matt. They've been dealing with a lot of weather down there. And we've been fortunate here in Seattle. Overcast, but no rain actually is forecast for Seattle until tomorrow. So good timing, this beautiful part of the country. You get a look out over the left field wall into Lake Washington on another nice Sunday evening. A little bit chilly, but that's not going to keep people off the water.
Yeah, there were a ton of boats out there yesterday. A beautiful afternoon, sun shining. You saw dogs on boats yesterday. Paddleboarders, kayakers, speedboats. Today a little bit more chilly. The winds picked up.
Atley gets the bunt down, but defended well. Folks bundled up, watching this game. It's Taylor Bump coming over from, or charging, pardon me, from third to get the out.
Well, in a drag bunt, you typically want to put that right back towards the pitcher because she's the furthest defender away from you, but a hard charging Taylor Bump gets that cut off across the dish and the out.
Beaubien retiring the last 4 batters now that she has faced after giving up back-to-back singles in the 5th inning. So Willis scored the 2nd Washington run this afternoon. Reached on an error and scored. As you see, she's still looking for her first hit of the weekend. Michigan with 6 outs to try to tie or take the lead in this game. They are, as you see, designated as the home team. If we go to a decisive game tonight, Washington would be the home team. Willis sends it into right field, but foul. So Storako can throw for Michigan. The question is, and the answer I believe is Gabby Plain, right? You mentioned that she has thrown by far the most innings on this team. They never established a number 2, unlike Michigan that has 1A and 1B in Beaubien and Storako. So if Washington wins, and Storako on the left, Washington wins, Gabby's going to have to throw 2 games tonight. Beaubien on a 10-pitch inning, striking out Willis.
Beautiful strikeout by Megan Beaubien to finish out this inning. That's the spin that they're going to need to get out of this one and try to get the win.
The NCAA Softball Regionals is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
The Pacific Northwest looking terrific as usual. Washington leading 2-0 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. So the Super Regionals are shaping up. Some seeded teams that lost. This is today. Remember, Arizona State was eliminated yesterday. Duke, the Big Ten tournament champions, eliminated by Georgia. Kentucky advanced with 2 wins against Notre Dame. And Washington, can they win this game and then force a decisive game later on? And can I just say, Notre Dame, bless your hearts. I mean, they just needed to win 1 game today to get to their first Super Regional. And not only did they not win a game against Kentucky, they didn't score a single run in those 2 games. They always seem to get so close and come up short.
Well, and had put up so many runs in their first game and their first matchup with each other previous in the weekend. It looked like this was going to be the year, but Kentucky coming back really strong. Autumn Humes in the circle, shutting them out, doing a really good job of getting them to advance onto the Supers. And they'll be facing Alabama down in Tuscaloosa next weekend.
Well, congratulations to the Wildcats. As another visit out with Gabby Plain as Haley Hoganrod starts things off in the bottom of the 6th inning. So the number 9 hitter, and then Lexi Blair, who has the only hit of the game, again coming on the first pitch that Plain threw in the first inning. She bats second. There is Lexi Blair. What a terrific player she is.
So good at the top of the lineup, leads the team in average and stolen bases, but also has some pop in her bat as well with 6 home runs on the year. So a very complete leadoff batter for Michigan. But it's been the drop ball that has been the nemesis for Michigan in this one. Gabby Plain has been taking that pitch and just dropping it off the table, collecting a ton of strikeouts, and just Michigan unable to keep the ball, get the ball in play on that tough drop ball.
And you see 16 pitches, the most in any inning so far for Gabby Plain. Behind 2-0, hence the visit. And then she comes in and throws a strike to Hoganrod. Michigan has gotten the leadoff runner on in 3 away from drawing the leadoff walk here in the 6th with the top of the order coming up. Now a full count on the way. Wow.
Nasty curveball, bites across the plate. Hogenrod takes that confidently. She doesn't even make an attempt. Thinks she's on her way to first base and has to make a quick U-turn. That's a really nice pitch, though. It nips the corner just above the knees. Great spot. Gabby Plain's smirk definitely showing in this one.
That was nasty. 6th strikeout for Plain, first since the 3rd inning. And here's the aforementioned Lexi Blair, the Big Ten Player of the Year. The only hit, first pitch she saw from Gabby in the 1st inning, and stole the base and was stranded. Lexi Blair is from Winter Garden, Florida, but her mother is from Michigan. A lot of family members who went to the University of Michigan, so that connection was there, and actually was sort of under the radar a little bit, a late recruit, but once Michigan saw her, they knew they wanted to get her. And she has done terrific things.
Yep, and we always have a coach's call with the coaches coming into these big postseason tournaments. And when it came down to asking Coach Bonnie Thal about Lexi Blair, she said, you know, it's really easy to smile about her. She's just a low drama kid, always working, has one of the best work ethics on this team. And you mentioned how she was a little bit under the radar. She was a late recruit for them, just not getting the looks until her junior year. A Florida kid able to come away with a big grab for Michigan.
Down 1-2 to Plain.
There's Bonnie Thal. Gave us some time before the tournament. Bonnie and I played together in Guatemala on a national team as we led up to the '96 Olympics. One of my favorite people in the coaching staff, and she actually has a niece on the team as well. Kiki Thal plays for Michigan.
And that gets right by the first baseman, Kelly Lynch. Lexi Blair touches off again on Gabby Plain.
Well, and that's the charge that Michigan needs to be able to come away and string things together. It seems to be Lexi Blair that
for 14, and look who the pinch hitter is. Kiki Thal coming in to pinch hit for Rodriguez, who struck out twice against Plain. You just mentioned her, the niece of the associate head coach. Bonnie Thal over there at coaching first from Illinois, but big Michigan fans. Bonnie Thal played there and graduated in '91. And a big opportunity.
this is a really tight spot for Michigan, but there's the Aunt Bonnie and Kiki coming into this one. We asked, so she must be your favorite, right? She said, please don't say that on air because I have a lot of nieces and nephews and I do not want that message to get out there. But a great pickup for Michigan, solid hitter, and in this one, really needed to come away with a hit.
Just the 17th at bat of the season for Kiki, 4 for 16. With a home run. And here she is facing the National Player of the Year finalist in a regional.
Sis Bates is one of the best supporters for someone in the circle. She comes in and chats with Gabby Plain every single pitch. Upset by that call, but the smirk not gone from Gabby Plain's face just yet.
Now a 3-1 to the pinch hitter Thole. Fills up the count. Walked her. Let's get you out to Matt Schick. Thank you very much, Matt. Nothing to worry about. The Wildcats coming back from that 6-0 deficit. And a great at-bat for Kiki Thole here to work the walk. And then Rodriguez comes in. Rodriguez was pinch hit 4 by Thole and now re-enters to run at first. 1 away, 2 on. It's the second time a runner has gotten to second base. Michigan 0 for 7 with runners on base. But here is some power. Allen and Bump back to back. These are their 2 best home run hitters. And they each hit a home run off Plain yesterday.
So here's what happened yesterday. Ball left over the heart of the plate, and Gabby Plain knew it. As soon as she let it go, that one went out. Very next pitch, another one was hit. Lou Allen hit the home run that gave him the edge, and then Bump back-to-back jacks in that 2-1 win yesterday over Gabby Plain.
And those home runs came in the 6th inning of that game, and here we are in the 6th inning tonight. Now the 1-2 with 2 on. Tap back to Plain, who grabbed it. They get the lead runner. Plain is a good fielding pitcher. We've seen a ton of comebackers to her this weekend.
Well, and that drop ball gives her a ton of ground balls, so defense always has to be on their toes. Her especially, we've seen a bunch of comebackers this weekend. So because Klingler did not have her foot on the bag, she comes away with the tag, but she does get the bag there as the heel hits the ground. But heads up play by Klingler, recognizing she needed to get the tag down, even though it was a forced play.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure. 15 of Plain's 17 outs, either ground outs or strikeouts. 6 strikeouts. And now she's tasked with facing the other home run hitter in Taylor Bump, who touched her off with a dinger yesterday.
And it's that drop ball, Pam. She continues to make it fall off the table, and it looks good coming in, but it just continues to dive under the bats of these Michigan hitters. They need to find a way to make an adjustment on that pitch. That's the difference maker in this game.
Mump goes after another low pitch. Sis Bates flicks it over to Atley to end the inning. Michigan 0 for 9 with runners on base, down 2-0 after 6.
The bracket is out. We are anxious to talk about it.
Game's going to come down to, can you beat Alabama twice?
I think the Seminoles, if those bats wake up, they're going to be tough to beat.
I don't think George Washington gets enough credit with Sierra Lang and Jenna Cone.
We don't know how good these Big Ten teams are.
Gabby Plain, 302 strikeouts. That's insane numbers to me.
Insane numbers for Gabby Plain, and we're seeing her today with 6 more strikeouts. Got out of a little pickle in the 6th inning. There's the Space Needle in downtown Seattle. And this Sunday evening, Pam Ward, Jenny Dalton Hill joining you. Washington trying to force a decisive game tonight to see who will go to the Super Regional and play Oklahoma, the #1 seed. That decisive game 7 would come half hour or so after this game is concluded. Beaubien in the circle, great matchup. Beaubien against Gabby Plain. Michigan just 2 hits, both of them by Lexi Blair. Option starting things off with Bates and Klingler to follow. Karen's out towards the football stadium. She's just outside Husky softball stadium. Another 1-2 pitch on the way. Oh. Yeah, Beaubien. She should shake her fist at that one. That was a nice changeup.
Yeah, pulled the string on that one. Alchin couldn't get the bat off of her shoulder. I mean, that's a nasty pitch. That's the pitch that I've actually wanted to see more in this game for her. She has not been able to locate that one consistently throughout this game. It's gotten tagged up a little bit in this matchup.
Beaubien has done one thing really well, and that's keeping Sis Bates off the base path. She's not been a base runner today. Pop up, strike out, sacrifice bunt. Average down to 385.
Yeah, in this tournament, she's been 5 for 10. She's had 2 stolen bases, perfect on those stolen base attempts. So sitting at the top of the lineup, Sis Bates has really done a good job, but Megan Beaubien has done a great job of just keeping that leadoff batter for Washington off the bases in this one.
Sends that one into the sky. Great grab. Wow. Hoganrod coming in to Rob Bates.
Great catch in the outfield. That's the kind of stuff that fires up a team, that you can bring that momentum back into the dugout. So they sit here in a 2-run deficit, but look at the energy that you get out of Beaubien as well in the circle. Great catch out there in center by Hoganrod.
And when we talked to Coach Thole before the Connie Cole, before the regional, she said, Haley can make some incredible catches, and we just saw evidence of that. To keep Bates again from getting on base.
And the best part about it is Beaubien is not the emotional firecracker in the circle for this Michigan team. She's a little bit more stoic in the circle, but that one fired her up.
I don't blame her for that. Here's Klingler now, batting with nobody on and 2 away. And Storako usually is the one in the circle. I know Storako might have just lost her mind if she was in the circle when that catch was made behind her.
Much more emotional in the circle. Beaubien a little bit more stoic, but they've been rubbing off on each other, and that emotion they've seen come out more for Beaubien since Storako's been on campus.
Klingler has one of Washington's 5 hits this afternoon. It's the Flores home run in the first inning, and then Willis scoring on an RBI double by Alchin in the second inning. That is all the scoring. Looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th. 5, 6, 7 hitters, Carson, Jimenez, and Voss all due up. Beaubien has now retired 7 straight Huskies.
Really nice curveball under the hands of Klingler. A lefty that can take that curveball and just place it across the plate under the hands of a right-handed hitter. Very dangerous. That's the pitch that she's going to have to really continue to locate. Cannot leave that one big over the plate.
Now Michigan going to send Carson, Jimenez, and Voss to the plate. They are combined 0 for 6 against Plain. Sent into left field. Reynolds drifting back to retire the side. Michigan needs at least a couple to keep things going as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One rewarding performance. It's Gabby Plain.
Well, and she's rebounded really well after a tough loss yesterday to Michigan. She's grabbed 3 strikeouts in this one. The drop ball has been devastating. Rolled 10 ground balls in this one. Michigan unable to figure out Gabby Plain.
Just the 2 hits, both by Lexi Blair. Everybody not Lexi Blair is a combined 0 for 16. Hannah Carson has grounded out twice. Playing with that drop ball, inducing a lot of ground outs. And the perfectly named Madison Husky has gone to right field for Sarah Willis. She couldn't go to Oregon with a name like that, right?
She could. We just have to change her name. Well, and Pam, I need to give credit where credit is due. Gabby Plain, not 3 strikeouts on the day. She's got 6 on the day. Beaubien's the one that has 3 on the day. So great day for Plain in the circle. That rewarding performance has kept them with this tight lead as they enter the bottom of the 7th.
And an absolute must-win situation. Slippery Snake has been very quiet in this game. No runs. Strikeout number 7. Carson goes down to start the 7th.
Gabby Plain doing Gabby Plain things. And we've seen her go down in the zone for most of the game. There you see a little bit of an upspin over the bat. I mean, that's the key. That's the thing about Gabby Plain. She'll sit in a zone until you start to figure it out, and then she'll just start nipping a different zone with a different pitch. So the up pitch grabs that strikeout.
7th strikeout for Plain. She has 19 on the weekend. (19 strikeouts and 4 walks in this, her 3rd start. We expect to see her start tonight unless Michigan can come from behind here in the bottom of the 7th. Just 2 fly ball outs for Michigan in this game. Pitch count relatively low too. You see just 90 pitches for Gabby, and it was crucial. We talked about Pat Moore starting yesterday in another must-win game, and it was a 5-inning no-hitter, and that was a calculated risk taken by Heather Tarr that really paid off, because Gabby Plain did not have to pitch in that game after throwing against Michigan earlier in the day. So you preserve her arm.
Yep, she threw 6 innings against Michigan. They pulled her and then did not throw her in the nightcap. And I was a little surprised knowing that that was a winner go home, but Pat Moore did a really good job coming in, taking over that one through 5 innings. It was a run rule win over Seattle U. And the Bats were able to wake up with 11 hits in that one, and the no-hitter for Pat Moore.
One of the few fly balls that we've seen from Michigan today. Bates gets it. It's the 3rd fly ball out. Gabby Plain 1 out away now from taking us to a decisive Game 7 to see who wins this regional, and will play Oklahoma in the Super Regional next week. Lexi Voss, strikeout and a ground out. Expect to see Alex Storako pitch for Michigan. She is the one who beat Washington yesterday, 2-1.
Everybody clap your hands. Come on, y'all.
1 strike away now. There's Storako, who we expect to see tonight. She's got a sub-1 ERA. She's another great pitcher. Gabby Plain. Up 0-2 on Voss.
And while that's a waste pitch, Pam, that one's way out of the zone. That one's a no-doubter. And the reason it's easy to lay off of a pitch like that is because out of the hand, it releases so high, it's out of the expectation. And so she's gonna have to bring that one down a little bit to get the swing and miss.
Got her. Gabby Plain, with her 8th strikeout, picks up her 31st win of the season, avenging the loss to Michigan yesterday and setting up a winner-take-all game here in Seattle tonight.
The expectation is that we will see Gabby Plain back in the circle in another 35-40 minutes to take on Michigan again. Now both of these teams in a situation where it's a win or go home. Michigan unable to come away with the win in this one, and so they force the if necessary game, but expect to see Gabby Plain back in the circle. We saw a ton of drop balls in this one, but here at the end of the game, we started to see her use that curveball and the rise ball a little bit more. So expect that you will see a different look in terms of what Plain will be throwing the next time around, as Michigan will need to try to make some adjustments to figure out how to beat her.
And she did it throwing fewer than 100 pitches, which bodes well because we certainly expect her to start coming up in about a half hour. So Michigan and Washington playing in the 7th and decisive game coming up on ESPN2. The winner advances to the NCAA Super Regionals in Norman, which get underway later this week. A brilliant performance by Plain. Really all the offense they needed. Morgan Flores with that first inning home run, and then another run added in the second as Beaubien takes the loss for her, just her 4th loss of the season. So we will see you shortly for the last game of the Seattle region. Jenny Dalton-Hill, our entire staff. I'm Pam Ward. Is Gabby Plain going to go back, get hydrated, and come out and start flinging it again? We will see you soon at 11:10 Eastern Time. It's an early one. We'll see you then. Washington, Michigan, be there to see who goes to the Super Regional.